All right, now time to get real about some training for us dads. Most dads out there, it's not that they need therapy. Let's just say they need a barbell. and I know that's not going to solve everything, but it's a good place to start. And if you're over, 35, like a lot of us, we don't need to be looking at 22-year-old influencers on the internet about how to train. That's how we get broke. We need to be thinking, how do we train like somebody who still wants to be strong and capable when they get into their 50s, 60s, and beyond? A couple of things. Dads out there, typically either one, they don't train at all, or they're going to train by following a bunch of random workouts that they're going to see online. And a lot of times in those uh, programs you find online, there's too much volume, too much novelty, too much ego involved. And in the end, you don't really need more exercises. You probably need fewer, and you just need to train them with enough intensity and frequency and volume to make a difference. So let's think about the four big lifts that are the anchor. If you haven't used a barbell before, get out there and get some coaching. And I'll make some videos about barbell lifts in the future, but this is more just to lay the groundwork for you. So, the anchors for our training are going to be squatting, deadlifting, pressing, and benching, the big main four lifts. We can create variations from there, but until you become respectably strong and competent in those lifts, there's not a lot of reason to add much fluff after that. These will train everything that matters in your body. It's going to train your legs, your hips, your trunk, your grip, your shoulders. And the goal would be to push towards deadlifting twice your body weight, squatting about 1.5 times your body weight, be able to press 3/4 of your body weight overhead, and bench press at least your body weight. And if you can do those things, you are a rare dad on the block. And your life's going to get a lot easier because you're going to be able to move your body with strength and confidence when you need to. So the thing about training, you don't need to invest a whole lot of time and effort, especially if you have these things at your house or a gym close by. 3 to 4 days a week of training is really all you need to do. You can do a little more if you are highly trained, but just think about it in this way. And the first day, day A, we'll call it, you can squat and press, each for 3 sets of 5, just a nice challenging weight and something that you can build from. Day B would be deadlift and bench press, and same thing, 3 sets of 5 of each lift, and then start at reasonable loads and just try to keep progressing over the next several months. All you really need to do is alternate back and forth, so A B. And if you're going to do 3 days a week, then it's A B A. Then the next week would be B A B, and so forth. Progressively overload. So start with increments of 5 pounds, and then buy fractional plates if you need to, and you can go up even smaller increments, and especially the upper body lifts as you start to stall out. But this kind of schedule, and if you start at a reasonable load that you can get all the sets in without much trouble, you should be able to run this kind of just basic progressive loading in a fairly linear fashion for months. Later on, we'll get into how to make adjustments down the road, because eventually it's not going to work. You'll plateau, and that's fine. That's training. But what's the plan after you've built a big base in the main lifts with progressive loading? Then we want to condition a little bit twice a week. We want to do some kind of conditioning. If you run already and like to run and are good at running, okay, run. You can add some running in. I'm not a big fan of adding in that kind of work. I like to use either like a hill sprint if you're going to run, echo bikes, and rowing. Those are kind of my go-tos when we're doing this kind of stuff. Interval work, 20 minutes is about all you need. A little bit of a warm-up, structure some sort of conditioning. I'll get into structuring that down the road as well. And then, just making sure that strength training is the priority. If you're going to skip anything during the week due to time, skip the conditioning. We can always add that in later. But if we get our strength up, get the numbers up on these lifts, we're going to see insulin sensitivity improve, bone density improve. You're probably going to feel better about yourself and what you're doing because you're going to feel a little stronger, more confident, more capable. You'll probably get a little bit leaner. You're going to get harder to kill. And those are the things that matter. There may even be some improvements in hormonal profiles. So we just got to make sure that we're able to put solid training plans together. And the big things to think about in the beginning is don't be chasing aesthetics so much. Just chase your capabilities. Just worry about the numbers improving on the lifts. And as those change, you will see positive changes in everything else. You will see stronger legs, stronger hips, stronger trunk, and that's going to be dad strong. So we want to make sure that we're focused on the basics and doing the basics well and doing the basics in a way that we can do frequently and repeatably and a way that's stressful enough to cause adaptation. So this is just make sure you subscribe to the channel for more, because we will be getting into plateaus and how to start fixing those down the road. And we'll get into more training advice and lifting. But in the meantime, get that bar out, start lifting something heavy.